Did you know that a giraffe can clean its ears with its tongue? Hey everybody, I'm back again. It's amazing, 3 weeks after deciding to not desperately try to make a video every week, topics just keep coming. Granted, this week's topic was suggested by someone else, but still, they just keep coming. Anyway, today's topic was suggested by a YouTube user named GarrettF384. GarrettF384 sent me a link to an article, and you can find the link in the bar, wherever it is beside me, below me, around me, or above me, about an Australian billionaire who is looking to build the next Titanic. It will be called the Titanic 2. I know, the name is like, wow! The man's name is Clive Palmer, and he claims that it will be as close to an exact replica as possible. But of course built with top-of-the-line safety features, like the first one. And it will cost a fortune. Now obviously the first thing you think of when you read something or hear about something like this is profiteering. He's a billionaire looking to make more billions, so he's just gonna do something that's sort of fatty and trendy and cool. I mean, this year was the 100th anniversary of the Titanic sinking. He does claim that it is a tribute to all the lives that were lost and all the people that worked on the original Titanic. But still, I think if you have any common sense, you know that his clear motive is to make money. Because this ship will be fully functional, and it will be one of the most luxurious ships in the world. People will be paying to use it. Paying lots of money. Random troll face. And believe me, I think we could go on and on and on about how that money could be used for all kinds of other amazing things. How he could take his billions and feed millions, and we could do that whole rant about money. But to be honest, I really think that if it's really obvious that he's doing this for profiteering, it should be equally obvious that he really could be spending his money in better ways. I mean, really, anyone with, an extra dose of common sense could really realize that yeah, the money could be used for something better. We don't really need another Titanic. We've got plenty of boats that can get people from point A to point B, and we've got plenty of cruise ships. We don't need another one. So I apologize to those of you who thought I was going to go off onto a rant about money. I mean, it's not that I don't think or feel that way about the money, it's just we talk about that all the time. I think we're all on the same page that money is obviously being thrown around too casually here, and too selfishly. The thing that I think we should really be talking about when reading this article is something along the lines of nostalgia. Reading this article kind of reminded me of how much humans try and relive the past. We really try to relive the moments that are great or historical. And I mean, I'm no exception. That's why I say we. I'm constantly going back and looking through pictures and watching videos of awesome, fun stuff I've done in the past and wishing I could go back and do that again. Not necessarily to do it over, but just to experience that moment again, the wonderful feeling of being in that moment. Especially now that I'm older, I think I would have a lot more value for those moments and those people that I experienced those moments with. And I think a lot of people think that way. We constantly want to relive what we've done and try and either redo it or just be in that moment again. And even if it wasn't necessarily a good one, because then our desire is kind of to go back and sort of redo it and fix it and try and do it the right way. But yeah, there's just this recurring thing with humanity to always try and relive the past or wish that we had been born in a different era or something. I don't know how many of you have seen Midnight in Paris, but that movie is exactly about that. It's about a modern day author that goes to visit Paris and wishes that he could have lived there in the 20s, and then he gets his wish, somehow travels back through time and lives in the 20s, and then he meets people who wishes they were born in the 1890s because they think that was the golden age. Now I know he wasn't trying to relive the 20s because he wasn't even alive in the 20s, but he had this desire for something of the past. Something that has already come and gone, and he's wishing that he could go back and do that. And I think it's the same thing with this Clive Palmer guy in the Titanic. I think secretly there's a part of him that wishes that that could have been a great triumphal moment for humanity. That's a moment of the past that he really wishes and thinks that he can fix by doing this rebuild. And I don't know whether to say that's right or wrong. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just, through observing, have noticed that that's what humans tend to do. We experience something great and we just want to keep experiencing that thing over and over. Which, from my personal point of view, I don't really see a lot of value in doing that. There's a quote that says, travel is the only thing you can buy that makes you richer. Because you travel through all different kinds of culture and you get all kinds of different experience and all kinds of different things, and you learn so much through that experience. And I don't think we're supposed to go to these experiences and wish we could just keep doing them over and over. I think what we should be doing is having those experiences and looking at how we could use those experiences in our life. Look back and see how we've grown and continue to grow and step into what's coming next. I mean, it's kind of cliche to say, but if we always lived in the past and tried to relive moments from before, we wouldn't really have new inventions all the time. Technology would not be so advanced if all the scientists were just studying things that they've discovered in the past and looking at how cool they are. They take what they've learned from the past and they apply it to things they have now and try and progress it further. Yes, it's amazing to reflect and see what you've learned, but there's a fine line between reflecting and just being stuck in reliving. Now, at the same time, there's huge value in honoring and respecting the people whose lives were lost when the Titanic sank. That's not a joke. That's not something to philosophize about. That sucks. And we need to acknowledge those people and the fact that, they were in a crappy situation. And that's what we did with the 100th anniversary. We respected those people and remembered them, but I think trying to rebuild the Titanic is a step too far financially and mentally. The Titanic was a boat. There's a big hunk of steel and leather and plastic and all this other kind of stuff that was on that ship. It was the people in it that mattered, not the ship itself. I don't think Clive Palmer should be doing this rebuild because I don't think the boat is what matters about the Titanic. What matters about the Titanic and why we remember it is because of the people who died. The people whose lives were lost in the middle of a freezing cold ocean. That's why we remember the Titanic. Not because it was a beautiful hunk of steel that made us money. But of course, this is an opinion show, so if you have any differing thoughts or anything to add to this, just leave some comments down below or a video response and we will discuss. And now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show! Hero of the Week! Our Hero of the Week this week is a Facebook user named William Thomas Robert Fife. William, like many of you guys, sent me a message requesting a shoutout. I keep telling you have to be the 10th person to comment. And so I said to William, why should I give you a shoutout on Rant? What makes you worthy? And William responded by saying, I am William Thomas Robert Fife III, Commander of the Armies of the North, General of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor Jesus Christ, father to a murdered goldfish, friend to a murdered turtle, and I will have my vengeance, in this life or the next. And so you are worthy. Congratulations, William Thomas Robert Fife. You are the Hero of the Week this week. And now for today's shout out. There actually is no shout out this week because there was no 10th commenter on our last video. And the last person to comment was the same person who was the last person to comment on the last video. So you'd just be getting the same shout out. So if you want to know who the shout out goes out to, go to last week's video and find out. Remember, if you'd like a shout out on one of my videos, just be the 10th person to comment on this video and I'll be sure to give you a shout out in the next video. And if you'd really like to comment but don't have anything to say about anything else I've already talked about in this video, here is a weekly Would You Rather. Would you rather have pillows for feet or bricks for hands? And of course those random faces. If you think of any that you'd like to see me do because you just want to see me make a fool of myself, just leave them in the comments and I will be sure to try and get to them. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I got to say for today and the rest this week. If you'd like to check out any of my other videos, there's a button up here somewhere that you can click on and scroll through some videos and click a video that interests you. But for now, I'm Isaac Goldie and I'm thanking you for joining me once again on Rant. Peace in.
Comment and subscribe, comment and subscribe, comment and subscribe, and maybe favorite too.